Hey there everybody, it's BoxJumper here. Welcome back for another self-isolation workout. It's a fitness challenge that you can do in-home with gear that you have lying around the house. All of these workouts are scaled for beginners, and then I'll provide scaling options towards the end for the people that are a little bit more fit and a little bit more capable or are familiar with some of these movements. So today's workout is something that, again, anybody can do. It's 3 movements. And we'll go through them in order. First, it's 6 to 10 rounds in total. So you're actually going to do 3 to 5 rounds on each side of your body because we're going to do single side body movements for the first 2 movements that we're going to do. So first up is a single arm clean or power clean and press, or power clean and jerk, depending on your familiarity with these movements. For the people that are just starting this type of thing, a power clean and press is going to be more than enough. So like I promised, you're going to be using gear that's in your house. So in this case, I decided to, instead of using stewed tomatoes like I have for the last couple, I wanted something a little bigger, a little bit heavier, so smooth peanut butter. Not at all something that I particularly care for because I'm allergic to peanuts, so this is definitely not endorsed by Kraft. But it just happened to be something large, easy to hold, just barely within my grip anyway, that I could use for demonstrative purposes. So anything, any heavy object that's got a bit of a handle to it, that is relatively short. One of the reasons that I'm not using the shopping bag trick that I used in the last couple movements is that this particular movement, the shopping bag would kind of swing around on you, and I don't think it would be very practical. So a single arm clean or power clean and press is this simple. You're going to stand with your feet right underneath your hips. The weight is going to be in your hands. You're going to lift your elbow up and flip your arm over to get your hand up onto your shoulder. So if you're really just thinking about it, it's not quite a curl because I'm not looking for it to come out away from my body up to my elbow. I want to be able to keep it in close to the body. So I'm almost shrugging up with my elbow and then popping my elbow underneath to get it onto my shoulder. That's the power clean part. Next up is a press. Just going to press straight up, keep my bicep next to my ear, and that's one movement. So it's shrug up and then press. If you want to do it as a jerk, you'll do the exact same movement, shrug it up, and then for a jerk, you wind up having your back leg, or the same side, become your back leg. So you'll do a press, and then stand it up, bringing your front leg back, then your back leg. That'll make more sense if you're using something like a dumbbell. It's hardly necessary for a big jar of peanut butter. So, on one side, and you'll do 8 reps on one side. Then you're going to do 8 front squats with this same jar. So I'm going to keep it up on my shoulder, just like this, and I'm going to squat. Now, you don't have to come all the way to the floor. If you're able to do so, great. Ideally, a full range of motion. It'll tax your legs more. But if your range of motion needs to stop at quarter squat and stand up, that's fine. You've got a little bit of resistance on your shoulder to give your legs a little bit of a pump. And just get down as deep as you can. And if you can, all the way down so that the backs of your legs touch. But you've got to be able to keep your chest up as you do your squat. So think about keeping the chest as high as possible. Think about looking straight ahead. Try not to look down, because all that'll do is bring your shoulders forward. So stay nice and vertical when you squat and back up again. So you're going to do 8 of the single arm clean and press, or do it as a jerk. You're going to do 8 of the front squats, and then you're going to do 30 seconds of shuttle walk or run. So really all you need is ideally find the longest room in your house or a long hallway or something, so you're not having to run in small circles the whole time. You're really just looking to get like a little bit of a shuffle, ideally in one direction for a period before you have to turn around and go in another direction. But and if you have to do it in place, do it in place. Running in place for 30 seconds will get you just as warm. So this is about getting your heart rate up. So nice little jog. Just get the feet moving, get the knees coming up as much as you can, or just run in place back and forth between one wall, touch the wall, come back to the other side, touch the wall. But you're going to need a timer going, and you're going to need to know when you finish the last of those front squats, so that you know when your 30 seconds begins, and then you're watching the clock for the end of that 30 seconds for you to turn around and do the exact same thing with the opposite side of your body. So if you do one round on your right, do another round on your left, and alternate, which is why we've got an even number of rounds on this. So you can do 3 rounds per side, 4 rounds per side, or 5 rounds per side. Now, if you've got a dumbbell and you want to go a little bit heavier with this movement, the movement is exactly the same. You're just going to go through the same standard, but I'm expecting that if you've got a dumbbell lying around, you've probably been doing this sort of thing before. So again, for the clean, ideally, if you're going to do something like this, come down to the floor with the dumbbell, touch the head to the ground, up, squat with it, bring it up, and then the jerk. Again, the back leg winds up being on the same side as the arm that's up. Recover from the front foot, then the back foot. For those of you that did this year's, well, I guess it was last year's CrossFit Open, had a dumbbell clean and jerk in it, so you'll be familiar with that movement standard. And then for the front squat, same thing. Really try to keep your hand as far forward on the dumbbell as possible so that it wants to lean back onto your shoulder. Keep the chest up, squat all the way, and then back up again. And then obviously the standard's exactly the same for the shuttle sprints. And then same thing on the opposite side. So 8 single arm power clean and press. If you've got a full clean, go for it. Then 8 front squats, again, all on the same side, followed by 30 seconds of shuttle walks or runs, and then repeat that on the opposite side so that you get an even number of rounds on each side. That's it. It's pretty simple. Standards are pretty straightforward. Give it a try. Let me know how you make out. Hopefully you can get your heart rate up. Here in Nova Scotia, it's snowing today, oddly, so most of us are stuck inside, but I know I've got a lot of people watching these and listening to these from the States as well, so hopefully you're dealing with slightly better weather and you might be able to get outside for your shuttle runs potentially. You can do your squats and your cleans on a nice, clean, sunny driveway. At least you can get a little bit of fresh air and not be cold. All right, we'll see you again tomorrow for another BoxJumper Isolation Challenge fitness workout. Talk to you then.